Hey, what's up guys, John here. Are you ready for the massive cyber attack? Because it could have just started. China has now alleged to have attacked the U.S. infrastructure.
Hackers affiliated with China's People's Liberation Army have infiltrated critical services here in the U.S.
This is 1.1 million views in the last couple hours. Every mainstream media outlet is talking about this. But what they're not talking about is this eerie connection between Barack Obama's movie that just came out, and I watched it last night. It was pretty shocking because everything that they were talking about in this movie is now happening today.
We are seeing ongoing cyber attacks across the country.
Something is happening, and I don't trust them.
You can't make this stuff up. In this video, I'm going to break it down and show you exactly what's going on.
The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack.
I'm going to show you some pretty unbelievable dots and help you connect this because I believe something really big is coming. I think something massive is happening right now to America, and I think people need to get prepared for it. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button. YouTube will share this content to educate more people about what's really going on in America. And if you'd like to fix your credit, we'd love to help you at my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, any negative item on your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com. Click the link in the description just below this video. Schedule a free strategy session. Take a look at this. So, Washington Post came out. China's cyber army is invading critical U.S. services. Came out this morning, right? This is crazy. So China has made its way to critical American cyber infrastructure without being detected for over a year. The known targets include water utility in Hawaii, a port in the U.S. West Coast, and an oil and gas pipeline. The goal is for China to leverage a position over the United States to create chaos, cause panic, and disrupt logistics. Well, the new movie that came out, in this movie is right here, The Apocalypse and Leaving the World Behind. In this movie, it says either China or Korea had attacked the nation. It was a big cyber attack, right? This really big attack that happened. And now here we are, right? Now you have to ask yourself, I mean, they literally put this right here. You have to ask yourself, are we walking into something really, really big? Because some of the most powerful business leaders, CEOs, billionaires, really wealthy people are all saying the same thing, that a massive cyber attack is incoming and it's going to change everything. So when you look at this, like for example, right here, it says China's cyber army infiltrated the U.S. U.S. officials and cybersecurity experts warn that Chinese military is increasingly attempting to infiltrate essential infrastructure, utilities, communication, transportation services in the United States. According to the Washington Post, anonymous U.S. officials and cybersecurity experts recently noted that hackers linked with China's People's Liberation Army have infiltrated roughly 24 essential service entities throughout the past year. The anonymous officials and experts claim that China's infiltration of critical entities is part of a widespread plan to disrupt and destroy essential services if a conflict occurs between China and the United States in the Pacific region. According to information obtained by the Washington Post, hackers linked with China's People's Liberation Army infiltrated services such as water utility, right? Well, look at this. This Cyber Polygon event that started a couple years ago, right? Right as everything started kind of hitting the fan, then they start doing these exercises. And when you look at some of the really big partners, I mean, and the leader of this, Klaus, everyone knows him, he is the same exact person that was issuing this big warning. And when you look at who is connected, it's just very, very fascinating. I mean, you have people, IBM, you have all these very, very, very big companies and organizations connected to Cyber Polygon discussing, how they would respond to a massive cyber attack that completely shut everything down, right? And when you have the head of this, or one of the heads, saying that the cyber attack could happen, it's likely in the next 2 years, that was almost 1 year ago. So basically what they were saying is it could be happening, next 12 months, right? But I personally, when we look at, what's going on with all these different cyber events all over the world, I mean, you look at the third largest mortgage provider in America, just had a massive cyber attack. 4.3 million mortgages were, impacted. People couldn't pay their bills. They were unable to pay their bills, access to their account, massive data breach. That just happened. Will a catastrophic cyber event really happen in the coming years, or are the unlikely, right? So you start to look at this, and then you have right here, China's affiliated hacking groups, infiltrated critical American infrastructure, including Hawaii water. Then this, prepping for a cyber pandemic, a worldwide drill. Now this is ABC News. This is ABC News right here. Harrisburg, PA, the World Economic Forum kicked off its annual Cyber Polygon, right? Exercise Friday, which gives companies and governments the opportunity to participate in a simulation of a cyber pandemic. It is inevitable that some larger attack is going to occur one day. When we're interested to hear what's going to happen, when this will happen, it's a practice session in which they get to brainstorm a scenario. How would this affect the world economy? How might this affect individual corporations? And what can be done to protect them? What is being talked about today and over the next couple of days is a potential real-world situation. In 2021, 200 teams from 48 countries participating in the worldwide training exercise, companies like IBM and Ernst & Young. The focus on a live drill this year is targeting supply chain attack on a corporation. If a scenario like this in real life, it could happen, it could impact our daily lives by shutting down water treatment facilities, power grids, or the internet. What would you do if you can't access your bank account, the internet, or your cell phone suddenly stop working? These are all the kinds of things people really do need to think through, because one day we may be facing a crisis like that. Now, what are the odds? The former president, Barack Obama, comes out with a movie really discussing a cyber attack and discussing China. And then all of these things start to unfold, right? I mean, there's certain things that, some people would say, oh, that's tinfoil hat. But I'm just, simple question, what would be the odds of all of this, right? Probably 1 in a billion. I would say probably 1 in a billion, right? Something very interesting, I believe, is happening now, and it's the death of 1,000 cuts. Every single day it gets a little bit weirder, a little bit stranger. But I believe 2024, 2025, next year, next 2 years, things are going to start to get real. And what I actually believe in relation to people that are looking to invest, people are going to start looking to buy second homes before, it was going to be near a coastal community. I believe people are going to look for, second homes in rural areas, places where they can have their own little farm. I believe people are going to start to do stuff like that at a level in which we've never seen before. I think people are going to start buying properties in different countries and looking to get second passports and do all these different things they would have never otherwise considered because of the chain of events that are unfolding. Because even if the odds are 5%, 10%, that's significant, right? That is significant, especially when you look at what is at stake. Then, over the course of a quarter, it's in excess of 1 million cyber attack attempts. Russia is in number 1, followed by the Netherlands, and then it goes down by a scale. By far, Russia surpasses all others combined. There's a silent war going on to keep the bad guys at bay and to keep information safe. The Cyber Polygon event goes on for several days. Experts will hold a discussion on the cryptocurrency and ransomware. So what do you think about this? Do you believe that this story is about a family vacationing in Long Island, interrupted by 2 strangers bearing news of a blackout? The threat grows. Both families must decide how best to survive the potential crisis, right? Do you think that this is something that is about to get out of control? Do you think this situation is going to grow? I personally believe that is probably going to happen. I believe we're going to walk into a situation where people really need to position themselves. When I say position themselves, what I mean is you want to get out of high interest rate credit card debt. You want to put yourself to have potentially, not to sound crazy, have some food, right? You probably want to have some food. You probably want to have a backup plan in the event that something did happen, maybe some cash at home. You probably want to have, enough for a few days at minimum, right? At minimum. If this situation did unfold, you could just imagine what the stores would look like. It would make 2020, that peak pandemonium, people are fighting over toilet paper and, detergent and things like that. That would look like child's play. That would look like an absolute joke compared to if people, one day couldn't turn the internet on or they couldn't access their bank account. Cities would be riddled with crime. Things would get out of control overnight. And within the matter of a day, 2 days, 3 days, you would start to see things that you would otherwise never imagine, not even in a horror movie. Things would start to unravel within a week or 2 weeks. If this did ever happen, I'm not saying it's going to. Again, I'm not saying it's going to. I'm just simply saying, what are the odds, right? What are the odds that that movie came out, then you have this situation that's unfolding, and then you have all these, they're literally role-playing this situation. some of the most powerful people in the world role-playing this situation, talking about this, and here we are, right? All of these different scenarios unfolding back to back to back to back to back. Now, what do you think? Drop below. Let's have a conversation about this. And I believe a lot of people are going to start trying to buy farms. That's what I believe. I think a lot of people are going to start looking at acreage as, before it was they wanted the view. Now I think it's going to be they want the acreage, right? That's what I think is going to happen. Drop below. Let's have a conversation about this. And if you like to fix your credit, maybe to position yourself, maybe you want to buy a farm, maybe you want to buy something, you're going to need great credit to do it, especially in this environment. Banks are tightening up on lending. We'd love to help you. Give you a free strategy session in my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, any negative item under credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com. Click the link in the description just below this video. Schedule a free strategy session. Catch you in the next video.